Greetings everyone and welcome to Crimson Vow Premier Draft, and this time it's an interesting pack one because the rare is something you could play in a very dedicated wolf deck slash werewolf, but it's really risky to pick it because you almost assuredly have to be black, not black, green, red wolves. Now that is the pick I'm not gonna make if I want to pick green red wolves, because I would just take the child of the pack. In that case, it's the better card in that deck anyway. And even though this is mono green, it's basically red green. There's a wedding security which is good in red black, but not easy to be good in some other black decks, because then you would need to rely mostly on black cards to create blood tokens to make this good. But I think this is a fairly weak pack, and I take the. I mean, this card is not weak by any means, but first picking a 2-color card is, I can easily not get there. So point is that it's risky. It's less likely to end up playing this than if you just pick a monocolor card as your first pick. Now this is a very interesting pack 2 here in that regard, because I could just stay on course, take the Hook and Mariner, maybe be happy about it. But there's also the Marco Vulture, which I had very good experiences of a couple of drafts ago. There is also the Traveling Minister, which is the best monocolor card. So yeah, that's actually tough, because if I knew green red is open, I just take the Mariner and just go forward. But then again, it is my second 4-drop if I do that. That's like a slight negative. I think I'll take the Vulture here. I mean, I don't want to force red-white 3 drafts in a row, because both in my previous 2 drafts I actually played red draft. Red draft, come on, red-white, I'll take this card. But I just definitely don't want to force it. It's just the best card in the pack, and I want to keep picking the best card. You could have taken the Traveling Minister, but I think this is slightly, more impactful in the end, because this is quite, does a lot of stuff. I mean, being just a flying hasty thing for 2 power, and also that's like the minimum it does, and then of course you can get nice attacks with your other creatures thanks to the +1/+0 pumps. Alright, so now I think, considering my first 2 picks, the best pick is the Fearful Villager. It's not the best card in the pack, and maybe not even the best card. I mean, if I knew I was a green-red, I'm not sure if I took the Flourishing Hunter. If I knew I was the white-red, I would maybe want to have the Griff Rider after the Vulture, but I don't know. This works in both of these, so I can at least keep my options open here for now. There is a Panicked Bystander. Okay. And the green isn't amazing. I'll take the Bystander. This is better, of course, when you can also activate the Death Touch, but if you play this in any white deck, you have the option to somehow get to transform it, and it will be a 2-mana 3/5, very good in that case. And I think it's a pretty easy pick, because the pack isn't very exciting actually. That didn't have a lot of good things going on. Alright, so I see now a Blood Hypnotist. I also see a Hungry Rich Wolf. Now, my previous pick that didn't go for the wolf deck, but there's also the Sporeback Wolf. I think I'll take the Rich Wolf, because the pick 9 will be the pack from which I took the child of the pack. It could even have the rare still left, and there was some other wolf too. What was it? Was it the Rich Wolf or something else? I think it had some kind of wolf thing going on. But yeah, the Blood Hypnotist usually only is good if you are getting some blood tokens, and this doesn't even make one itself. Usually these cards in this set make a blood token that have some utility for it, but this one doesn't. Anyway, I'll take the Rich Wolf. And okay, it seems I'm going to be the wolf deck now, because there's a Sporeback Wolf. I think the Sporecrawler is a slightly better card, but also, I mean, if I get, yeah, I'm gonna maximize the wolf's synergies. Maybe I actually get the rare and it can be good in this deck, who knows. Alright, so here, not really, okay, there's not really much going on here. It's also a best of 1 draft, so I don't have to worry about sideboarding. I like Pious Spawn as a sideboard card. Usually won't be main decking it, but just none of these is really good. I think I'll still take the Pious Spawn, but this is mostly a wasted pack. I'll even put it to the sideboard already. Okay, so wolves are open, There's also a lacerate flesh, but I'm not even sure if I want to have the lacerate flesh when I can just take all the wolves here. It's not the best, not exactly the best removal spell, but it is a removal spell. But then again, I'm gonna go full wolves here and hope that I get the rare here. Well, I did not. And if this pack had some other wolf card, it doesn't have any more, so that was a bummer. I was really hoping to continue that route. Well, Sheltering Bows, I suppose. I mean, these are unplayables mostly. I have already one Pious Spawn, so I guess the bows is slightly more likely than the Honeymoon Hearse. And okay, Spokeler is a fine pickup. I mean, I don't actually have any wolf team other than the only card that cares about the wolves specifically is the Hungry Rich Wolf, and I have one of them, so I don't really have to force myself picking wolves. I really was counting on taking the rare. I've seen that thing table a lot of times, but of course people might just be rare drafting too. All right, here I take just something. I have the white cards here still. Who knows? Maybe I will end up opening a nice white. Well, I take still this thing. Nice white bomb, and maybe I move white to red, but I think this is red green, but I don't like the quality of the deck so far. Okay, well, there is a green rare which I might take here. I don't think it's actually that good. It is, of course, good when it's, some kind of board style situation. Yeah, it works then, but it's not really that amazing. That said, what I'm gonna take here, Magma Pummeler. I think the best cards in the pack are the Diver's Garb and the Brine Comber, but not gonna be picks for me. I'll take the Hive Heart Shaman, why not? And now I'm going to start cutting the white cards here. So this one and this one. And this is what I have here. 7 creatures, 1 non-creature, an okay looking mana curve, but I need removal. I know I did pick the Fearful Villager over Lacerate Flesh, but Lacerate Flesh isn't even that amazing. Here it's a pretty easy Flourishing Hunter. When you are green, especially this kind of a mid-range green, you definitely want to have these 6/6 life gainers. Alright, let's pick up some removal, shall we? Alright, so Oakside Stalker or a third Villager. I think I'll take the Stalker this time. It is, I mean, I like to have the options available. Sometimes you can get this, surprise the opponent with 5 mana. Anyway, let's take it. And yeah, this is another one of those low removal drafts. For that reason, I'll take the Surge Strike. I need some tricks at least if I don't get any removal. I do see red isn't quite open to this direction. I really hope to get more of these 2-drop wolves, and I also just noticed that I have only two mana cards that can, I mean, two mana creatures in the deck. That's bad because yeah, I need to get something good soon for turn 2. Anyway, here it is. Basically nothing here. I don't care about another bows or the rural recruit in here either. So I think I'll just... I mean, I guess I could splash something with the Hive Heart Shaman. Should I take a Fierce Retribution for that reason? I think I'll do that. If I get an Evolving Wilds or something, maybe I'll get to splash. But, nah, this is not good. I'll take the Lacerate Flesh now. And okay, that could be splashed, but there's also another Surge Strike which I might actually just take here. I'm not really too keen on the idea of putting an extra basic land to your, I mean not an extra, but the kind of basic land your cards actually don't need just because of this one rare. I would maybe take the Eruthia otherwise, but I'll take the Surge Strike now just to have some. Okay, this is maybe, I don't need this Surge Strike. I'll take the Evolving Wilds now. Yeah, I mean, let's keep the possibility open, especially if I find another white removal spell, like this pacifism variant. I could play a white splash in this deck. Here I'll take the Lightning Wolf because I don't like it, but I have already one Pious Spawn peaked here, so that's at least is a playable if I run short on them because I have only 14 non-land cards here picked. This is again one of those drafts that really didn't go well. I had a nice first pick and I don't know, just didn't really work that well. Alright, so I wouldn't usually like the Flame Breather given my lack of non-creatures, and Reckless Impulse is totally fine, but I need something to play on turn 2. This, if nothing else, can block opposing 2-power 2-drops. No one is Mark of Purifier colors. Alright, I don't think I'm either. And this, I'm not gonna main deck a Crushing Canopy in this set. I mean, in this set, in best of one. Well, in best of one, you of course have to main deck card you're willing to play, but the idea is that it's not reliable enough. Right, here I got some pretty much nonsense here. I'm not gonna play, even if I'm splashing for white, I'm not gonna play 2 Piercing Lights. That's just not gonna happen. So I took the 4-drop, which I still put it here. Not a big fan of running that card in this deck, but we'll see. Okay, well this is at least a better pack. There's Dollhouse of Horrors, quite slow, but I could try it, but now that I have a Child of the Pack here, I'll just take that. It is an actual high quality uncommon for my colors, so I'll just take that. Sure. I really hope the Sporeback Wolf comes back. I need early drop still, but I'm not gonna pass on the Child here. Okay, I'm happy. Not that I mean I would have rather have a pack 3 pick 2 like Upgrade or something like that, Flame Blessed Bolt, or even a Wolf Strike. But at least I got my 2-drop here, so this is a good one. Definitely gonna be better than the Tricks here or the 3-drop Vampire in this deck. I need early stuff to play. Alright, I got a Rich Wolf now, which is the perfect 2-drop. I have quite a few of Wolves and Werewolves, 10 total of, so this is gonna be very often enabled, you know, the better version of it. So nice to pick it. I would like to have more of these guys. Ideally, I wouldn't even play the Keswick Flame Breather, but I'm not there yet. I have only 4 of these Wolf 2-drops and then 1 Flame Breather as 2-drops. I want to play more than 4 2-drops. Okay, well this is good. I have a Reclusive Taxidermist. Also, I'm passing pretty good stuff here, but this is actually great for this deck. I have something to accelerate into anyway, so let's take it. I'm not yet doing any. My intention currently isn't to splash anything, but maybe if I really get another. Yeah, I do have a low amount of removal. I mean, I have only the Lacerate Flesh here, so if I could get like a Sigarda's Imprisonment, I could play it with the splash. And here I get a Hook Hand Mariner, high quality 4-drop. I can maybe even not play the Lightning Wolf, we'll see, but let's take it. Quite nice card. And here I got another Lacerate Flesh, but there's also a Circle of Confinement. It's interesting because my curve can actually take the Lacerate Flesh, but I could also splash the white, because I have the Hive Heart Shaman, the Evolving Wilds. It's a tough one actually. But I think it's maybe better just to not worry about the splash making my mana worse for quite a low payoff actually. Right, so do I want to have the Reach guy or another Flame Breather? I think I don't really want to play multiples of these. I now have like the minimum amount of 2-drops I'm happy with, so I'll take the Reach guy now. Should be quite easy to train this in this deck. I have a lot of high power creatures. Okay, there's a Keswick Wolf Rider. Totally, it's like not super amazing, but again in a long game you get some nice free wolves here. 1 mana 1/2 menace. I've seen worse. And here I didn't get back. Oh, I don't recall what was the pack. Was it this pack that had the wolf? Anyway, I'll take the Witch's Web. It's actually fine pick here, but yeah, I was hoping to get another wolf. Yeah, I'm not getting them. Well, Massive Might is still good, but some other people pick my creatures. I don't like it. No, I do have 18 creatures, but maybe. No, okay, I actually forgot. I got the Reclusive Taxidermist somewhere around the line. Yeah, I'm not gonna play the Epicure. I don't think I play all these pump effects either, but actually I might still. Well, let's see. Yeah, there's a Flame. I'm not playing 2 of them. I'll just take the uncommon here, and I'm not gonna splash anything, so I'm not going to worry about the heirloom either. Okay, that's it. Yeah, so the splash would only be the Fierce Retribution. I guess I'll just have to play with a deck that has only 2 Lacerate Flesh and then some number of combat tricks to try to get the upper hand. I will have big creatures at least, so that's gonna help me a bit. Alright, so if I cut the Flame Breather, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-mana cards. that are reasonable on turn 2. Then I have here the sheltering bows, which I can just cut. And then I kind of want to cut the lightning wolf. It's not really good. And this would be the deck. I will play both the Surge Strikes and both Witch's Webs and the Massive Might. That's 5 pump effects and then 2 Lacerate Flesh for a total of 7 non-creatures. The rest are creatures in actually a fairly good mana curve here. And the Hive-Heart Shaman can win a drawn-out game. Now, even though I don't have the third kind of basic land in the deck, and I don't think I'm gonna put it there just to make this slightly better. This will still generate 3/3 insect tokens because they will get 2 counters anyway. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's also fairly reasonable stat-wise. 4 mana 3/5 is not like crazy good, but it is still a nice amount of toughness combined with a reasonable amount of power for a 4-drop. Yeah, so if I put one other land, I just would make the mana worse for my green and red. I think it's just a perfect play the Evolving Wilds and 8 mountains and 8 forests in this deck and kind of be happy about it. I actually have a lot of good late game stuff here, so the Keswick Wolf Rider can get me a couple of wolves later in the game, and the Child of the Pack can also, fill the board with stuff, so I shouldn't actually have too much trouble with any kind of stalemate situation. I just have to stay alive if opponent has something like an aggressive stuff, or of course some crazy bomb. But I don't need anything like a Pious Spawn just to make my deck have a better late game, I don't think. Yeah, I like this. Also 8+8 lands. Alright, that's it. No sideboarding, this is the only deck, Premier Draft, best of 1. Let's see how it goes. I definitely would have, yeah, I have the combat tricks to kind of balance the lack of removal, but 1 Flame Blessed Bolt, 1 Upgrade, and 1 Wolf Strike, instead of some combination of these, these combat tricks would have made the deck definitely better. But it is what it is. Okay, well, a bit suspect hand having a 4-drop as the first thing, but most of the deck is cheap cards, so if I draw a non-lands, I'm on the play. I'm gonna keep it mostly because these are quite defensive. They can hold off the opponent. I should just get myself. Don't think I have any double casters. I'm a Flourishing Hunter, but it's a 6-drop. Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter now. I'll take a forest. Yeah, so there's a good chance that even if opponent gets the first creatures on the battlefield, I can maybe hold the ground quite nicely with these 4-drops. And of course, if I don't draw spells, I draw lands, and this means I have now the 4-drops available. Dorothea is super annoying, obviously. Okay, I did at least do that. So they can attack for 4, that's not the problem. Going to 16 is not the problem. The fact that they will get something that will be enhanced by this thing, that's gonna be the problem. But they might also do something else like exploit Dorothea. Exploiting it is actually great use for the ability, but now I take 4 damage here for now, which I can do. And thanks to me drawing the sharpshooter, I actually do like how I started. The hand is now saving up quite well. I do have only 5 2-mana creatures, so I can't assume to be getting an early play in every game. I do have, that said, I do have the 1 mana 1/2. Not that it can really participate in combat that easily at all. So here I'll just play this guy. No reason to make any kind of bluff attacks into a life linker. They block and gain 2 life, and I'm like, am I gonna use my Witch's Web and miss out making a 4-drop? No thanks. Now again I can I can apply pressure with these things. I can start training the sharpshooter, and I still have this thing as a blocker. This cost is 3 mana, so if they really go for the kindly ancestor, I mean, I could just kill it. Of course, I do have the lacerate flesh here, plus the witch's web, massive might and all that. So now, if I attack with the hook and mariner, I mean, I could attack with both, and if they double block, this will be dealing 5, which is exactly... Well, I mean, I could do double. I kind of want to... Let's see. Sadly, I cannot kill them both without using both tricks here. I guess what I could do, I can just use the lacerate flesh on the cruel witness, but I would much rather use the lacerate flesh on the thing that has this thing on. Now I do have the tricks to maybe not care about it too much. And if I use the lacerate flesh, they can still just block this sharpshooter for free. I think I'm gonna do this and see what happens. Maybe they try to kill the hook and mariner. I mean, that would be crazy to all this open mana, but I think they should maybe consider double blocking the sharpshooter, because they realize that one combat trick won't be enough. I mean, I can get +3 with a Surge Strike or a Witch's Web, but that's not gonna be enough to kill both of them. And they chose to do that, which is fine for me, because I can now still choose to play the lacerate flesh or just play the Child of the Pack. Now, I think I choose the Child of the Pack because that allows me to leave the massive might up. Now there's a chance that I will use it when they attack with the ancestor into it. They might do it just because of the 2 life they're gonna gain, but we'll see. I'm also potentially taking 7 damage in the air, but I kind of hope they do use this Dorothea on maybe even Cruel Witness, and then I hope they don't have any way to save it from the lacerate flesh, because I can go to 9 if I get to kill the witness as a result. But let's see if they have a land drop. They chose to not the card on the top of their deck is something they wanted to draw because they had the opportunity to mill it, and now they have up. They basically have Adamant Will up and also the Cradle of Safety. I don't like that, because it's really important for me to be able to kill this. But if they can play the Dorothea's, what's the Retribution, and have no backup for it, I mean, in terms of spells that can... Okay, well, that's good. I was really worried if they just pass with mana up, but now everything is just perfect. I get to kill the Cruel Witness, which is the only threat they currently have here. And now the only question is how many of these guys I'm gonna attack with, because I use the Lacerate Flesh, which means I will not be able to use the Witch's Web to untap things. So if I attack with everything, there's no point attacking with the Child of the Pack. Now if I'm very lucky, they would block with the Kindly Ancestor, of course. And then I can have the Massive Might on the Kindly Ancestor. So they take... Because of course this will be trained. Do I actually have a lethal if they don't make any blocks? Now that's something I should check, because I have a +5 in my hand. 7, 9. I have exact lethal if they don't make any kind of blocks. Well, that makes it rather easy. I mean, I will obviously attack now. The only reasonable block they actually have is the Ancestor on the Child of the Pack, in which case I will play the Massive Might and have the Lacerate Flesh still post-combat. So, well, of course I hope they don't block, because I have here 9 plus 2 plus 3, that is 14, exactly the life total they have currently, and this is also fine. Get rid of the life linker here now. And now they will have only the 1-2 left. This should be really... I mean, they play white, they could have the mass removal effect, but if they don't, game is gonna be over for them. This is a lot of power I'm throwing at them, and if they don't deal with the Mariner or the Sharpshooter, this Mariner will of course train the Sharpshooter once more, and I still have the Witch's Web here up. And that's it. Okay. This is fine. Both colors, 3 lands, and I have a 1-drop and a 3-drop. I'm on the draw against an opponent who did mulligan at least once. Let's see if that's gonna be the only mulligan they're gonna make here. I'll pause in the meanwhile. And in fact they kept 6, so 1 mulligan for the opponent. I drew a mountain, which means that it's fine. I have the lacerate flesh, so at least I will be able to cast that thing. Now this thing has menace, which means I can attack. I can also, you know, be very risky and block with it, with the Surge Strike, but I don't want to take a 2 for 1 here. If they get to enhance this, I won't be having a good block with the Villager, but at least they don't enhance it this turn. So whatever, oh, they have exactly nothing here. Well, things are very different now because they are missing land drops and plays. So I mean, they did mulligan to 6, so I understand keeping a 2-lander with a 2-drop. Going to 5 is miserable, but this is of course going to be horrible for the opponent if they cannot continue making plays here. Because now it's Knight, so this even became bigger here. And I drew this thing. Okay, both my guys have menace. Right. Okay, well, this is something that just happens sometimes. This is, of course, I'm just winning here in a very, very short time frame here. The Villager I can deal with in multiple ways. I actually have to even consider if I just have lethal here now. Well, not if they block, and they will definitely have to block. So Surge Strike and Massive Might both are up. Say if I attack with all, they can't block these menace guys. They actually can't block only one of my guys. They can block either double block a menace thing or just single block the ambusher, and that's it. So this thing giving trample, it's 8 power trample, 6 plus. Yeah, this should be lethal. I don't have to. I mean, the best they can do to absorb damage is to double block maybe the 4-3. No, double block the 6-3. That's the best they can do to absorb damage. I make it at 8 power trampler. It's gonna be 3 trampled over plus 7 plus 4 is 7, 8 plus Surge Strike is it. Okay, in that case, if they double block it, well, then I use my Surge Strike with a very, very good. Okay, yeah, there's no point using the Lacerate Flesh because the only thing that saves them requires them double blocking the ambusher, and why would they even do that? I mean, they can only block with. They could just choose to block with 1. And now I do the math again here, which is gonna show that I literally have 7 damage coming up here now. Okay, it actually is this gonna, well, I'm gonna play the Surge Strike here anyway. That's gonna clear the way there. Now this is now, if I give it trample, 9 power trample, 9 minus 5 is 4, 10, 11. Okay, this won't be lethal either. 9 power trample, 4. It will trample 5. It's 11. No. Come on. Yeah, no, I don't have. At that point, I have already used this. It's 11 damage only. I wonder what the opponent is thinking here. They must realize that I was counting whether I actually have a lethal already. So I could keep it into Knight, or I can play the Rich Wolf. I'm going to. I mean, I guess I'm not gonna play the second spell because this being 6 power and this being 4 power, that's a difference of 5 power here. It's better than the 3 power the Rich Wolf introduces, plus they would have to play 2 spells, and that seems quite unlikely given how the game progressed. So it was worth keeping them both around, mostly because if they block the 6 power guy, I can make it into 8 power trampler. Or, you know what, just kill whatever they have to block with the Lacerate Flesh, so whatever. Okay, I've had a couple of great curve outs, and now this is seeming to be the same kind of stuff. I'm on the draw again. This would be very fantastic on the play because Child of the Pack is potentially my turn 3 play with the Taxidermist, but let's see if the opponent has a removal for my 2-drop here. Infantry. Yeah, there's no point. If I drew a 3-drop there now, let's say the Menace werewolf, for example. I could have gone 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop in that case. Well, although I think in that case I wouldn't have drawn the land, but then I could have tried to curve out with my 2 and 3 drops. But now when I have nothing, I would have the taxidermist as my turn 3 play anyway. Had I played the Rich Wolf here, it makes much more sense to play the 4-drop, which can also defend against the Drogskull infantry quite efficiently. And in general, if the taxidermist survives, that's just +1 mana for the remaining turns now. And of course, in the beginning of the game, it's really good advantage to have the +1 mana available at the cost of not deploying a creature that can actively participate in the racing situation. Opponent is actually deep in the tank now. What are they thinking about here? I mean, the attack seems pretty obvious. I mean, was there something that they were... Okay, well, that is super annoying. That's really annoying. Because they start getting those blood tokens, so even though I have the Witch's Web and the Lacerate Flesh to deal with it, they might... Well, it requires 2 blood tokens anyway, no matter, I'm not going to leave up the Witch's Web to, you know... because I could have played the Rich Wolf and then used the Witch's Web, but the opponent having open mana is really bad news. But darn, this start is really nasty for the opponent. I wish I was on the play now, because this can be close. I have basically 6 turns, although the Flourishing Hunter will gain me, what, maybe even 5 life. But I don't like the fact they get the free blood tokens, and then if I choose to kill it, they will just get this back. So it's kind of a waste of a removal spell, but then again, I might have to do it just to buy 1 more turn. Although they can activate this ability at any time, so if I use a sorcery speed removal on it, and they have black mana up with 2 blood tokens, they can just do it at the end of my turn. Anyway, what's this? It wasn't a... The hell is that? White-black deck, suddenly I see a... Well, it was the fixing. I mean, I understand Torrens is a card you can splash. So there was an Evolving Wilds and the Forest, and the thing they are splashing. So they can get the Torrens back if this dies, but they also don't have the green mana quite yet available. So I have 5 mana. How do I use my 5 mana? I can just play the Rich Wolf and the Fearful Villager, I think. If they want to block with the Undead Butler, be my guest. Now I could also just use this ability and pass the turn, but that seems really crazy. Doesn't seem to make any kind of sense. I'll just deploy my stuff. Now I could also just, you know, kill the forebear here while they have only 1 blood token, but it's really not good. Okay, so they have something. I have a Witch's Web, so I guess I'll let them just lose the infantry here. Maybe they have a Adamant Wheel there, which is sad, but well, this time our opponent is having a bit too good stuff. They have 5 power. I get to... Oh, I don't even get to kill the Undead Butler here. Jeez. Well, I lose my guy, I guess. Because I needed... This wasn't enough to do the thing. Well, opponent had good start. Nothing much I can do about it. I play this and the Rich Wolf, and probably won't be able to beat the Falconwrath Forebear now. Otherwise, the Adamant Wheel trading with the 4-drop isn't the end of the world. I have the 6/6 coming up, but it's really gonna be hard to raise the Forebear now. It is a very good spell on turn 3 on the play when I don't have my 1 reach guy. Okay, it is a knight now, but that only means that they have like a fierce retribution. I can be rather sure of it. But what can I do? Yeah, I'm not gonna use the Witch's Web. I definitely want to just play the Flourishing Hunter. It will gain me 3 life if they don't have a fierce retribution, but... Okay, so they did it. But they are only at 15, that is not nice for me. And I don't... Also the sad part here is that I don't have currently my 1 trample giving trick, because the Butler is gonna absorb all the 6 damage that this thing can deal. Unless I kill the Butler with the Lacerate Flesh, but that's just bad. Okay, let's see if they have more green stuff here. Plains, Swamp. Alright, so doesn't seem like it. Now, I might have to just... Do they play second spell, actually? It's still gonna be Knight if they don't. Okay. Well. Let's see. They don't have even a good double block, so I'll just attack with... I mean, this is... I mean, if they really don't have a Fierce Retribution, then I'm in a good shape, but I mean, they have 3 cards in their hand. What can they be? Are they all something like more expensive stuff? Okay, so they can return like the Drogskull Infantry if they want to. Now killing the forebear is really pointless. Okay, they actually return this, so they do have access to... They do have access to green mana. That's the only reason they're gonna return that. So, point is, they have 3 blood tokens. If I kill this, they just activate this ability. So all I get is like a couple of blood tokens, and that's it. Kinda don't want to kill the butler either, but I don't want to pass with... Yeah, I have to do it like this. This is really sick that I have to do it like this, but I do have to. I get to cycle the 1 forest also with the taxidermist, but now they can return the Drogskull Infantry to their hand for more jump blockers. But I did it because they have jump blockers. I mean, I need to get rid of the jump blockers here. Now they can do that. I mean, if they do find a forest and then... Okay, wait a minute, they did choose to... What did they return? Actually, I don't even... Return... Didn't they exile it? And what they didn't return the Drogskull Infantry, it's still in the graveyard. What the heck did they do with the other butler? I have no idea what they did. How it's in exile? It's... You may exile it. And if they do, which they did, return target creature. Alright, I don't know what happened there really. But I take another 3 here. So they didn't have a forester. So how do they plan on casting the torrents? They don't get to cast it. Oh, now I see. Okay, that's sweet. They had a long-term plan. Well, kinda sad, but it seemed like they have something. They had all those cards there, so it's not really... Yeah, I mean, it's not as if they didn't have a good start here. They also have the reset button in there. And sadly, I have only 1 card here, so maybe I'll play this. It is nice, although they will be double spelling now quite easily, but... Well, who knows, maybe I can... If they really... Let's say they have like a lot of green cards in their hand and they don't draw the forest. Yes, I can win in that case. Well, there's a lifelinker. Gonna make it hard to raise here. They can make it into a 4-5, but not this turn. And they can get this back. This can't block though, so I don't have to worry about it. But they can keep on raising. I really wish they didn't have a lifelinker. That would have been good if they didn't have a lifelinker specifically there. Because I think I can... They don't need to do it on their own turn, but they did anyway. Doesn't matter. Maybe they want me to miss the fact that it can block, but... They go to 7, so imagine if they didn't have the lifelinker here. They would be at 7 and I would actually be offering some lethal attacks here. I'm gonna double spell now. I will let them deal the... No, gain the 2 here. I think I will have to go to 4 now. It seems like they go to 9 and then I will have maybe some kind of... Although they can play the Drogskull Infantry in there. That's not good. Then they go to 11. I can't deal 11 here, can I? That's 8. Oh, I can. Oh, I wish that I did that actually. I didn't even realize, but I could have dealt 11. This is actually 8 plus 3 is 11. So if they went for it, darn, that would have been a sweet thing to happen. Well, now they chose to do the smart thing and just play enough blockers to make sure I can't find any kind of a pump spell related victory here, because now, of course, they had 2 drops there, but they were sandbagging those cards because of the mass removal effect. That's what the by invitation only does. It's not really a fair card. Things would be a little bit easier if they didn't also have the Falconrat Forebear. So the fact that they can combine this Racing Flyer, that forced me to, you know, put as much board presence as I can in order to raise this thing, and then they can punish me with their Rat effect. So not really nice. So I wish they just went for the Kindly Ancestor go to 11, 3, 3, 2 plus, yep, that's exactsies. Because they would have had only 1 mana left, they wouldn't have been able to deploy things. So now I have to think, who are going to attack, if any? Well, of course, someone are going to attack, and I get to untap one of them. So, I wish they didn't have the lifelinker, but I have to go all in. And I'm pretty sure the opponent is going to make the safest possible blocks here. Yeah. So yeah, they're gonna gain 2 life. That is really bad. I can save my Fearful Villager and I can draw a card from the Spore Crawler. Okay, they chose to. I mean, I think they are gonna play around the 3 power plus 3 power trick here. Okay, blocking the Trampler means I can trample over, but it's not gonna be anywhere enough. Because they are effectively at 9 now, and I can deal 2 plus 3. I can put them to 4. But I guess I need to have the Rich Wolf as a blocker here, and because it will untap and I will save it, the Rich Wolf. Not really great. I need to draw something very good from the Spore Crawler trigger. And even that's probably not going to be enough. Well, that certainly isn't. Yeah, I lost to the by invitation only this game. There's no really, I mean, there's no reason to try to overanalyze things. I think I played as I should against the Falkenrath Forebear. There was no possibility for me to start thinking about that maybe I shouldn't overextend to a Wrath effect, because otherwise the Forebear would have just killed me. So now I'm not facing lethal yet. And if I mean, they can make the flyer into a 5 power guy, but that's not lethal. They can keep the flyer lifelink, which I actually am. I'm more concerned about that. If they keep it lifelink, they go to 7, and even if I draw like a Sure Strike, which I have 2 in the deck. Well, I mean, depends on if the only thing they can do, because this has Menace, this has Trample. So if I draw a Sure Strike, I will in fact still have enough damage to deal. So they didn't go for the or either of the auras here. Okay, so they choose that line, which means that I mean, I'm not gonna die unless they have something. The question is, can I win if they have something? So that the something that I'm talking about must be a pump effect, or they can have a Diagraph Scavenger. That's also a possibility. So let's say they have a Diagraph Scavenger and I block here. They go to 6. If I draw a Sure Strike, yes, I get to connect with the Menace guy, but it's only 5, and then I lose on the next turn. And then the other option is that if they have an Adamant Will, here, and I block, they don't even have to use the Adamant Will, they can play a creature. I guess in that case, if I draw the Sure Strike, yeah, I think I'm losing to Diagraph Scavenger no matter what, but if they have an Adamant Will, I just don't like the fact that they have 3 cards I don't know about. But 1 blocker isn't enough to deal with this. But they wouldn't be making this attack if they don't represent lethal here, so I'm gonna block here and hope they have exactly the pump spell, not the Diagraph Scavenger. They had the Scavenger. Well, at least that means if I didn't block, I would lose right now. Now I can, I don't know. I can't find +4 though. That's not a possibility, so I don't think there's any. Yep, now I'm losing to the flyer. But at least I read the situation correctly, so I guess I, did all I could. Okay, more of these mythic rank opponents. Let's be on the play with a good hand. I'm on the play with not a good hand, but I'm keeping it because this hand just needs to draw the correct spells. And I have let's say if I draw a few lands, I have at least a 5 and 6 drop here. And I can maybe use the Witch's Web defensively. It is super risky though. I mean, I had multiple outs to draw one of my 2 or 3 mana spells here, and I did, so it's not even Wonder. I had the mana to cast if I draw anything, so I consider this not being like super lucky or anything. This being Menace guy, I can continue the attacks here. It will deal a few points of damage to the opponent, and I continue this with more Menace guys. Now, of course, I just because I have a play for the next turn, it would be a perfect spot to draw one of the lands to get closer to my expensive stuff. But maybe I already got somewhat lucky drawing 2 playables into a hand with quite low on immediate playables, so I wouldn't mind drawing it. I mean, if I draw non-land, it can also just be a 2 or 3 mana spell that I can cast. I'm not necessarily in any kind of hurry to play these things. But let's see what the opponent has for me, because if they're gonna tap out for a creature and then double block, the Witch's Web will be quite good. I don't think I'm gonna... Okay, they made it into a knight. Oh, if they have a burn-based removal on the... But my Witch's Web can just punish them. They could have a pound spell too, but they definitely have something. Chill of the Grave, that's totally fine, because I can actually play another of those Fearful Villagers. And I did draw a non-land, but at least it was a 4-drop, so once I do draw my 4th land, I can just immediately continue with this. Plus, as long as they don't double spell, this will be a 5/5 trample guy that, you know, pumps my other theme, so that they need to double spell. Yeah, the fact that they didn't have a... Okay, but they might have a... Alright, well, they had it. They had it, so... Well, I guess if I don't draw a land, I will force the knight myself, but they will have access to enough lands that they can maybe double... They can double spell again. So I'm not going to attack this time. I can't even kill them both if I even with the Witch's Web. Plus, I don't really, now that I drew the land, I don't want to. Because if I attack with both, they can double block the Keswick Wolfrider and I would lose it. If I attack with only this, they can double block it and Witch's Web would only kill one of them. Not worth missing on the 4-drop now. I'm not in a hurry. Now these things will add up quite quickly, but I have life gain, I have removal, I have the pump spell, I have a formidable board here too, so I'm not too worried about getting pinged to death here. But of course the opponent has all the tools there, so I might actually take like 2 to 6 damage in a turn cycle, so I need to get my life gain ASAP, of course. All they need is like interaction, more of these Chill of the Graves bounce spells. That's exactly what the opponent needs here to they have this one unblockable attack coming at some point too, so I really need to be careful here. At least they mostly tapped out. They have priority because of these activations, so I can't really know if they actually have... I can't know if they actually have a Flame Blessed Bolter or not, but it is time for me to do some attacks now. I'm not gonna attack with a Child of the Pack. I will attack with these. This kind of represents the sort of attack I would be doing anyway even if I don't have a pump spell. I don't want to telegraph it too hard. Now if they just take this, I'm not gonna play the Rich Wolf. I think I'm gonna play activate the Child of the Pack. Now there's a good chance opponent will be flipping it back to Knight, but the only difference is that I get a Wolf token that doesn't get this. Okay, so now I have a... Now I have a decision to maybe kill one of the Flame Breathers that's going to, you know, still deal a bunch of damage during the course of the game. So I think I will do it. Okay, so now they force my hand. Although that means the Lantern Bearer is quite good on the Visionary, but if I just draw the 5th land, I can kill it with the Lacerate Flesh. But I'm definitely going for this now. Okay, they choose not to do the kind of blocks there. Alright, so this is fine. I think it is better to force them to at least make the double spell. I activate this. The reason I activated it now that the Night Side doesn't actually have this. So if you are gonna not play a spell, you better use this activated ability on your own turn. Now let's see if they double spell. Okay, look at their deck. Just insane. Ugh. And they have easy time double spelling now that they have had a 2 mana effect there. Yeah, this is tough. I mean, if they wouldn't be able to double spell, this would be amazing attack for me coming up. But it's not really a part where they have 4 mana and 3 cards in their hand. Did they have to hit a Dawn 2 mana playable here? Yes, they did. Well, I mean, I'm in trouble because now this is 3 damage per attack now. And yeah, they have a Lunar Rejection there. It's just of course, the opponent has 3 of these Flame Breathers with all the interaction here. Because I had here a good start, but I'm just not able to deal damage to them. Like, much at all. This will go back to 2/3s now. Man. Did they have to have all the Flame Breathers there? I mean, I even don't draw the lands for the spells here. I'm not gonna ever get the 6 life before I'm dead. Well, that is life. I mean, it's super annoying because getting multiple bounces on my guys and all that, it's just so unpleasant. Okay, well now this is even kind of annoying because I can only kill one of these, so this is super annoying. But I mean, I wasn't gonna not attack. And I have this Rich Wolf here, so I can still play another guy here. And this 4/3 is a problem, because it can even be made into an unblockable at some point. And if I take here 4, I will go down to 7, 6, maybe 4. Yeah, I might even lose this turn, because I don't have a block on the flyer. They can make this guy into unblockable. They can put me to 6 if they have 3 non-creatures. I wouldn't even be surprised if they start the turn with an Ancestral Anger and play a Chill of the Grave and something like that. I mean, I can, with 2 non-creatures, I've lost the game. And sadly, I did have my pump spell there, so even though I have these Tramplers and these Menace guys, yeah, maybe I was supposed to attack with more than 1. I can also just jump block the 4/3 actually with the Keswick Wolf Rider. That is something I can consider. But man, did they have to have the bounce on the Child of the Pack. Well, I guess the opponent doesn't have the obvious victory because they are thinking for so long. Because they have an easy 6 damage forced if they needed to put me to 6. Sorry, 5 damage, that will put me to 6. With the flyer and the unblockable this thing. At least none of these is a vampire, so they don't have a life gain coming up. Bloody Betrayal. Can you believe it? Opponent just had the nuts here. So now I have to take 7 and lose to any non-creature. That's not gonna happen. Or I can double block my own guy. Jeez. Okay, well, I mean, this is how the game went. Double blocking my own guy will mean that both the villager and one of my other guys is gonna die. I can't really win up with that. But I'm gonna lose to any non-creature here. They have even a redraw into 1. I mean, their Bloody Betrayal was just a joke here. I mean, not a joke, it was an excellent card, but the fact that they had all that they had prior to this turn, and then they happened to have the perfect situational card that is excellent in this situation is just... I mean, this has many, so I can't even... If I could block it without losing either the Menace guy or neither of my blockers, but I will lose now the 2/2 and the 2/3, both of them. Okay, I'll just take it and hope they have no non-creatures in the entire game. Yeah, I mean, this was just... So they had the sure victory, but they just wasted all that time. That was... I mean, even with without the Bloody Betrayal, they were winning, I think. Maybe, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Opponent had perfect sis. I did my best. Okay, let's see if I have any chance, because that was a very good matchup for the opponent. They had exactly the deck that beats my deck easily if they have that kind of draw, because they have the 2 mana bounce spell that draws a card on my 4 drops and stuff like that. It was nasty. This hand is not great, but it is fine because I have on the play the 3/5 on turn 4, so I can at least start blocking. Okay, another 4-drop, which is fine. I can play the 4 drops and I have the Lacerate Flesh. I'm only dropped to 18 before I get to play the Child of the Pack. Or actually, the Hive-Heart Shaman might be here. Okay, they have a Curse of Hospitality. Well, I do need my high toughness guys then, I suppose. So what did they exile? Taxidermist. I didn't need that, so it's fine. Okay, so here comes a Surge Strike. Well, I mean, could let them have this, but I make them use the Surge Strike. I don't need the Shaman for anything. They have to use 2 mana for this. Or it could be an upgrade too. Well, or that, any of that. But point is, they use 2 mana this turn. And they don't get this. Or they have another. Okay, just that. So is it time to... no, it's time to just... wait a second. Well, I'm not gonna block it with this thing, so... So I'll lift the pack and let's see if they have more stuff going on. I mean, if I have 2 5 toughness blockers and they can just go, not worry about them having a 2 power creature, then it's just like, okay, that is fine then, opponent. Fine, totally. The curses, well, it hasn't netted them a card yet, so once they have gotten 1 card out of this, okay, what is this? They shouldn't have played a land, because they can play lands, can they? Yeah, they might land. Okay, they just missed a land drop there. Okay, and Flourishing Hunter, which I would have wanted to draw, but at least they can't use it. So they have used now 2 cards. Do they have an exploit creature? If they have the 2 mana exploit creature, well, they don't. Now, okay, so yeah, they shouldn't have played it. I mean, if they wanted to, they could have played my forest instead. And I lost my good life gainer, but now the opponent has used the Bloody Betrayal and the Curse of Hospitality, and they haven't really given them any permanent stuff here. So now the question is, how do I continue here? Well, I continue by attacking with at least... I guess with the Hookhand Mariner I should just have... the Witch's Web can untap me a blocker too, so I will attack with both. What I could also do is make a Wolf token, but I think I like the 4/4 around much more. See if they bravely attack into it again using the Blood Petal Celebrant. But I can untap a surprise blocker now, so... They just played the land. Okay, that is annoying. Very annoying, but they stopped the attacks now. But that is really annoying. Because it's gonna deal 4 to me. That's the reason they played the land so eagerly, even though they have Blood Token. So that's gonna give them a 2/1. Somehow. I might save my creature with the Witch's Web, but that's still a 2/1 for them. But I guess that's the best thing I have going on. I attack with the Mariner and let them block with the Pummeler. And they will try to kill the Wolf Rider. I will use the Witch's Web to save it. And then I will have 3 cards in my graveyard. And I can even use the ability here. I could attack with both of these, but I don't want to attack with the 2/5. I still don't want to give them too easy Curses of Hospitality. So yeah, let's do this and see what happens. They might even take the damage, but I doubt it. So I could try to save the Hookhand Mariner, but then they just target it anyway. So, I mean... I hope they target me. There's like a small chance for them to do that, but I think it's gonna be the Wolf Rider, yep. But do I want to save it actually? Oh, they targeted me. That is fantastic. That's really good. I hope they don't have more. I mean, they could have more of these Bloody Betrayals, of course. But now I could make it into a knight, and leave the Witch's Web up. I can activate both of these, either of these, but it should be a 2/2 in that case. I might like the knight here. This being a 5/5 trampler is quite nice. Mostly because I do have the Witch's Web, which I can use then. Okay, let's do it. Let's see if they can double spell. Okay, here we go. So if it can be like a Sure Strike, this is effectively an 8-8. So can they put 5 more here? No, they can't. I'm not gonna double block. I'll just make them use their hopefully a Sure Strike or an Upgrade. Vampire's Vengeance kills my stuff. Okay, well, I mean, it kills all the other stuff, but this should survive at least. That was a good one, but this token was free, so it's not, and they still lose their attackers, so it's not so bad. Unless they literally have also the Upgrade or a Wolf or a Sure Strike there, but that at least wasn't the case. Alright, so they have yet to get a card from this. Alright, and I get to deploy my stuff. Am I going to make it into a day? I might, because I'm actually gonna maybe want to pump more tokens here, because I can't do it when it's night. Plus this is just better to, you know, deploy all my stuff here. So I can either get to use the Lacerate Flesh, or I can make more tokens, or maybe I draw some non-land thing I can play instead of the Lacerate Flesh, but all of that is fine. So that will die for sure. I don't want to take any extra damage because the opponent has shown they have stuff like Bloody Betrayal, and they went face with the Magma Pummeler. I'm not gonna risk anything. So currently I won't be dying to a Bloody Betrayal, and the opponent is close to dying themselves. They go to 4 now. They go to 4 now, and I get to at least throw away the mountain end of turn. They have blood tokens, but 6 mana only, they can't really... Yeah, okay. So that was scary when the opponent showed, you know, signs of aggression there. With the Bloody Betrayal having my 5 toughness blocker do nothing. The fact this thing has First Strike is really good, making your burn spells also double as pump spells. In the sense that the First Strike means that this won't have to die in combat. Alright, well, I won. That's good. Well, this is the kind of starting hand, even though it has the ideal land configuration. I have only, what, 7 non-creatures in the deck and 16 creatures. I happen to draw all of these. This is not a keep, it just cannot be. This is a keep, and it's actually not so bad. I don't think I can keep the Flourishing Hunter in this hand. No. Having the 4 drops here means I will not lose my... Oh, I don't like to see that, such a nice card. I'm not gonna go to 2 lands when I have the 4 drops here. Yeah, this is really good, especially facing it on the draw. When the opponent has it on turn 1, it can be annoying, but I do have defensive cards. The 1-4 and then a 2-5 and a 3-5, so maybe it's not as bad as it can be. Okay then, do you go 1 drop, 2 drop? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I mean, this means that they have 2 options. They would, if they had only 1 2 drop, I think they just would play it. So I have to pause now. Okay, so they actually didn't play anything, which, well, means something, maybe. Maybe they're just talking on phone, that's also possible. Or watching a stream or something, not focusing on the game. But they had priority. At least what they have is some kind of pump effect, at the least. Okay, they are really just playing slow. Now they have an attack, and now they can gain life. Okay. Right. Interesting choice, actually. Because I kind of want to have the mana for my 4 drops. Because I don't have the 4th land. But this would be the on-curve play now. When am I gonna play this? That said, when this is gonna do anything, I mean, I could train it, but so what's the worst that can happen? I play this sharpshooter and don't draw the 4th mana land. Well, then I play the taxidermist. Oh yeah, I could also just attack and use the Witch's Web to block this, kill this, but I won't be doing that. I'm gonna play this, and because if I get to draw the 4th land right away, it's gonna be such a nice for my curving out. They have also a Hive Heart Shaman. Alright, so if they get to 6 lands before me, and if it's gonna be this kind of a ground stall, with them gaining 1 life each turn, it's gonna be a long game that I'm gonna lose. Which I even can't concede, early, because it's not a loss until it's actually a loss. But look at this opponent also just basically wasting time here. What is this? And this is a best of 1 event, so they don't even have the 30-minute match clock that's present in best of 3. Well, I have to just pause here until they do something. Okay, they actually run out of 1 timeout, and maybe they have like connection issues or something. Taxidermist sucks because if I had 2 forests, it would be much better than I have the massive might. They are going to attack here into my, and they will have open mana there, so it's really bad me trying to make any blocks here. Yeah, this, I mean, I can double block, for example, the apprentice sharpshooter, or maybe even this, and try to kill it with the Witch's Web, but they will have something, and then I'm just done. So I have to do it like this. I have to let them train. And if they happen to have, of course, a 3rd kind of basic land in the deck, they will also get to fetch that thing. Okay, they actually do. Okay, well, they did the thing I didn't. So this is for them. I can use up their pump effect. It's funny that they didn't use the traveling minister there, but oh well, maybe they wanted to make me block. I don't care about my sharpshooter. I don't know how I'm gonna kill that thing though. That I can kill with the Witch's Web, but they are gonna start making 4/4 tokens. That's really bad. That is really bad. I'm gonna lose to the Hive Heart Shaman because they have the mana available. I'm gonna make this attack. I can use the massive might here because it's not like I can do anything better with 5 mana than playing a 4-drop and the massive might. They can just take the 2 damage, of course, but I don't need this in the defense either. I think the game just sadly is gonna be over because I missed my land drops enough that I couldn't pressure them in any way. They can just start using 6 mana to create 4/4s every turn. No blocks there, and then I'll just play this and play my shaman. Although it will be nice if I do. Maybe I'll play this if they use 6. This has a sorcery activation only, so at least I get to this guy to be a bigger one in case they choose to use the shaman here. They might just choose to gain a bunch of life here. The Traveling Minister Heron of Hope combination is also something that makes basically racing impossible in the air. I mean, they have the racing capability in the air, and then I can't race them in the ground because first of all, they will have a lot of 4/4s very soon, but even if they didn't, they get so much life per turn. I guess my hope is that they attack with the Hive Heart Shaman. Okay, do they have a 4th kinda? Did they go all in with the Shaman? We'll see very soon. They did not. So now is my shot to actually try to kill it, and that's what I have to take here, of course. It seems like they might have something, but my best chance to win is that if this guy dies, because I have the 3/5 damage here now. If it doesn't die, I think it's game over. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh, I pumped the wrong guy. I lost my taxidermist for no reason. Well, this thing worked, but I lost my taxidermist. Oh, well, that's a way to give yourself like a. This is not only is it. Oh man, I hate myself now. I somehow thought that it doesn't matter who I pump, but it really did. Because this would have been a 3-4. And as an insult to injury, I drew the land now. You know what I could do if I had the taxidermist? Play the Hive Heart Shaman and have the Witch's Whip on the Heron of Hope. Well, I simply have to now. Kind of regroup here. And I'm happy. The fact I got to kill this gives me a chance, but darn would I, because the taxidermist has a good chance to become a 4-4 late in the game, plus me having the Hive Heart Shaman of my own means that I want to have my 6 mana to create 3/3 tokens. But I will play the Shaman now. I will just want to leave this to block just in case, because they can train the Sharpshooter at least. No, it's actually, this is not enough. It's gonna be a 3/6, I can't even kill it. Maybe I should have attacked with this. Because they can pump the Heron of Hope, but they don't have to attack with the Sporeback Wolf. I'm making multiple mistakes here now. That's really not good, opponent. I mean, I actually... They should attack with the Sharpshooter, but they don't. I mean, it seems like the opponent is giving... Well, I gave them a chance by playing badly myself. Oh, and there's a Lacerate Flash. I don't even have to use the Witch's Whip now. Okay, let's see if this works. Because if this works, it's so great. They have one card. Is it a saving thing? This says, my creatures enter tapped. That doesn't matter at all. If this thing resolved, and it did, so now... I wish I had my taxidermist, but I guess the opponent just wasted a card here. Because it's not really that impactful. So now I'm gonna only wait until I get my 6th land, and I still have a pump effect. Opponent having so much life here that it's gonna take a long time to do any kind of meaningful progress here. But at least currently the opponent is not in a position to attack. Unless they have the pump spell now, which they didn't have on the previous turn. They can go for the training here. But I'm not gonna take 6 damage, so I have to make blocks here. So I guess I just hope that they don't actually have a... Okay, they didn't attack, so they had no pump spell at least, or removal spell. Alright, so now I have another Lacerate Flash, which actually is super tempting to just use on that thing. This Packmate is now big. I can't attack with like a ton of my guys. But I can... Yeah, I don't have anything to fetch for this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna just ignore the fact that I would actually have the... taxidermist if I was smart, because opponent kind of gave me some chance by playing this somewhat questionable card maybe. Alright, so I do want to get rid of the Sharpshooter too, so let's just because of the Witch's Web, I think I can attack with everything. Because the idea here is just to use the Witch's Whip on the 5/5 to kill the Sharpshooter. Now I will take some damage from the Sporeback Wolf, but... Okay, they didn't pump anyone. Interesting. Well, maybe... should I... No, I should make an 8/8 here. Oh, they have something. Don't have a Fierce Retribution on this specific turn here. So I will take 3 here. Let's see if they have something else. A pump spell won't help them. Even a Witch's Whip doesn't allow this to survive. Adamant Will does. But okay, that is one annoying thing dealt with already, and I still have the Lacerate Flesh, and they have like nothing there. I mean, this could end very well for me. So I'm gonna play a bit safer now. I'm gonna not maybe attack with the Hive Heart Shaman, or am I? This can attack as a 3/4. This can't block it so that it dies, although it will be night. It actually can. This is quite a bit of damage I'm actually dealing here. I can also use the Lacerate Flesh. Maybe I will see what the opponent does. I won't be using this at all. But I mean, if I get to win this game, it's gonna be amazing, given how the start went. I mean, they do seem to have some kind of stuff. Maybe they have an actual pump spell, but like a Witch's Web, a massive might, because that wouldn't have helped them in the previous turn. But this is not 12 damage, they go to 10. So I have actually a lethal attack on the next turn if they don't have anything now. And it's not a Witch's Web because they could have done that already actually on this. And then eat the High Heart Shaman, it would be a 5-5 this thing here. But so if I want to be somehow safe, I should just play the Lacerate Flesh on the Wolf, but I just don't want to. Even if they have a pump spell. Yeah, this will be it's Knight, so I'm gonna play this. It's a 4-3, actually it's a 5-3 because of this Savage. Oh, down. I missed that thing I just said it's a bad one. Okay, so but the reason I did is that even if they have a removal on this, one pump spell isn't enough. So they're gonna make it into 3 power, and then +3 is gonna be 6 only. So I'm not gonna die. But I did actually forget completely that my creatures will enter tapped. That said, if they're gonna go for an attack now... Okay, they had a Crushing Canopy and they were annoyed I had no target for it. They killed their own enchantment. And does that mean they concede? That's the reason they had priority stops, because they had a Crushing Canopy with only one target on the battlefield. Yeah, I don't like this card. This is one of the archetypes against which it doesn't do much. It also doesn't do much against black-red. Black has like a few flyers. And of course green-black also doesn't work here. So yeah, they have to go into defense now. But they were able to double spell. That's the reason they played the Crushing Canopy actually. Not that they were tilted, they wanted to double spell to make it into a day. Well, I could just make a 3-3. This makes a 2-2, this makes a 3-3. So if I attack with the Villager, they will double block and I will trade with either the Traveling Minister or the Sporeback Wolf. I can attack. Well, I can attack with the 3-5-2. I kind of want to just get rid of their creatures. I don't want to lose the Shaman. I don't want to lose the pack here either. But I don't mind losing the Sporeback Wolf or the Fearful Villager because they have double blocks available. Now my creatures will enter untapped because this thing isn't here anymore. Now I could just kill the Weaver of Blossoms and attack with... But it's not a lethal attack. I like the idea of making a 3-3 and making it back into Knight. But I'm gonna actually... Because if they want to... When they can block with... Nah, it's fine. Let's do it like this. The point is that I might lose one of these and I will trade basically with the Sporeback Wolf. Or maybe they just take the damage here. Okay, so now... Rethink. Do I want to have a 3-3 blocker or just kill the Weaver here? Can they make someone fly? Well, even if they could, well, they can't, there's no such spell. And even if they could, I am still at 7 here. I'm gonna do it like this. They will get to add 2 mana, this will be a 3-4, but... because of course the Knight affects them too, but this should be good now. Okay, what a game. It really seemed like I was in a really big trouble when I had my missed land drops, but then I was able to get this down even though I messed up and lost my 1-2 taxidermist for no reason by choosing the target for the pump spell wrong. I was able to kill this and the Heron of Hope with the Witch's Web, which were the 2 main threats, and then I was able to hold down the ground and just overwhelm the opponent. That was an interesting game. It would be better if it wasn't for my mistakes, but at least opponent also had some maybe suboptimal cards in their deck that helped me a bit. Oh man. Without the forest, it's very hard to keep it. I had the Rich Wolf and then I would have to draw one of my 8 forests or the Evolving Wilds. But if this was a Forest Mountain hand, I would obviously keep it because I would have the Rich Wolf and then both the pump spells still active with the lands I have. And one land gives me this, second land gives me this. But this is too risky. I'm gonna mulligan. Okay, this is like not a ton better, but I can at least have a... I don't have to hope to draw some specific things with this thing. And the Hive-Heart Shaman is actually good. Another green-white deck here. Let's see if I can... Oh, green, white, blue. Alright, so... I'm going to attack now. And I'm going to use the Surge Strike if they do block. Because this is not gonna block that guy anyway. I don't like the fact that they have the lifelinker there. Now they will of course get the lifelinker order, but I also do have the Lacerate Flesh, which I maybe can use to deal with that. That's a really annoying card to try to raise. Okay, Spore Crawler is... am I going to offer the... No, I have a 2-4. So yeah, I offer them to block of course, but I won't be losing my guy, and then I can play the Shaman. Now this Shaman can actually start pumping some 3/3s. And yes, I do realize not adding a random basic land of some other kind makes it worse when I do draw this Shaman, but it's only one card in my deck and I don't want to make my mana any worse just because of one card. If I had 2 of these, I would absolutely play more with these in mind, but that's not really something I'm going to be able to do now. Alright, so that could be a fierce retribution and I couldn't say anything to it. But I'm not gonna miss out on 3 damage just because they might have that one particular card. Yep. So, do I wanna shuffle my deck? There's a forest on the bottom, so I actually don't. Decline. Now it's kinda sad that I lost the ability to use this thing and the opponent is still at 4 spells still. And the Spore Crawler will draw them a card. Yeah, I don't like my chances. I had the mulligan here too, so I'm down cards anyway. And this will trade with the card, whether it's a pump spell, removal spell, or a creature. It will always trade with a card and it will redraw the card. So the opponent just has more cards available in this event, in this particular game. At least they choose to raise me, which might be good because I have these things. I can maybe deal 5 additional points here, but let's see what they have. Okay, Wolf Strike there, so I can save my Sporeback Wolf with a massive might. I mean, it does make the hungry Rich Wolf bigger, but I have wolves here anyway. And of course I drew a land. I'm almost tempted to use the Lacerate Flesh, but not before they use the lifelink aura. I'm not playing the land because it might be something I'm gonna discard to a blood token. But yeah, opponents, yeah, they simply have more cards than I, and now they also have the better racing position. That's super annoying. Okay, well, with double Lacerate Flesh, I should use one of them on the statue before it. Oh, they still have a... No, that was just a block. No, it wasn't a... Yep. So let's hope to get a couple of blood tokens. That happens. Alright. So now I have a redraw capability here. But opponent still having all these. Okay, now I will kill that because it will start getting them live. And like I said, I can't really avoid it. Okay, more Wolf Strikes. Sure. Gain life. So now the racing is no longer a thing here because I just have to... Basically, it's a totally reset situation here. I mean, they are back to 18 and they are gonna sadly be back to 4 cards in hand, and then the draw step gives them the 5th one. So even though the board has nothing, they have 5 cards against my 2, but I have 1 land for sure. Well, 4 cards against my 1. And now I had to use my removal spells, and what happens now is that they play their flying guy now. I guess I have a couple of witches weapons in the deck, so there is that, but the racing will be tough now that they gained quite a bit of damage. Well, maybe it was only 6, but still, I mean, that's gonna matter. I'm dead in... I don't care about the milling, I'm gonna be dead to the 4/4 flyer unless I draw a Witch's Web. And the opponent still has... yeah, okay. Alright. So I'm not even sure what was the white. They have like a... the Kindly Ancestor, is that a splash or is the Screaming Swamp a splash? Oh, at least I got a useless land there, but there's nothing I can do against the Brambleworm. I mean, I could... in the long game I could make some tokens with this thing, but I'm just losing to this board, so... that was that. At least I got the 4th win, which means that the event was basically break even in terms of gems. The extra packs are gonna be 20 gems a piece most of the time because I have completed the set. So even though the price point is now 1400 gems and I paid 1500 gems from the event, I don't remember how many rares I picked, by the way. Let's check it now. It's actually funny to... well, funny. Maybe fun is the correct word to see. I think I didn't really pick any... well, there's the Hive Heart Shaman. Oh, and then there's also the 1-drop. So I got 40 gems in the draft. No, nothing in the sideboard. I didn't redraft that actively. So the deck, of course, like I said, it lacked removal. I would have needed like an upgrade. So getting the 4-win result is actually quite fine. So I got 40 gems there, and then I got the 3 prize packs, so they might actually have 20 gems each, so this would be completely break even in that case. That would be a total of 100 extra gems from the rare slots. Alright, but anyway, this is the event, and I will have a traditional draft on the next time. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.